Welcome to the Night 9, Night 10 recap video for the 2022 Extreme Panzer Leader board game. We got all the way through turn 74, and as always, here are the countries, as well as their cities and their points that they have in the bank, as well as their kill points. Here are the current perks and consumables available for all the countries. Feel free to pause at any moment to take a look at things more in depth and see what everybody has. Here is a draw up of the cities that are owned, as well as how many cities in total there are on each portion of the map. 70% of the cities are needed combined between the players' two countries in order to win the game. So feel free to calculate every which way that somebody can get 70%. Here are the times banked for each country starting on the next night at the columns circled by the end there on the right. And now let's take a look at the map. We saw the Germans and Americans finally launch their attack on the Jordanian-Israeli powerhouse. They made a quick attack on those farms there, as well as assaulting from across the river into these smaller cities here. The main battle happened in here in this Valley of Death, where we saw a mass of American tanks. They built 90 in one turn. Launch an assault on this Israeli fort where they amassed guns alongside these Jordanian guns. And it is a full-blown gun versus tank war. The Americans are also assaulting here with many of their tanks, as well as continuing to resupply. The Germans also built some of their SS Tigers. As you saw in the development portion of the recap, they jumped a few categories in the past couple nights, and they are serving to lock down these guns from any potential fire, as they would be able to return fire and almost guarantee the kill. We saw a little bit of tension brewing here, just reinforcing these couple areas with tanks, and due to the lack of time, nobody is really able to do much of anything on this front. The Finnish are finally cleaning up the Russians, taking a city, as well as advancing into that final city that they have down here off the slope of these mountains here, where the Japanese guns are still constantly raining fire down upon them, and this Russian city is maintaining its ownership. We also saw the British kind of revive themselves, as they had also gotten some development and are now moving out in order to execute what is known as a switch setup, so that they can just flip cities between their corresponding teammate country in order to better utilize what little resources they have. We also saw the Finnish advance up the side here, threatening another Russian city, but due to lack of time, they are also unable to continue advancing on that front. The French, secure as always. The Arabs turning over some cities to the Polish, as the Polish have gotten some very lucky development and are now joining the rest of the world in terms of tank power. And then we saw this huge mess of a kind of dead front, as both the Jordanians, Israelis, and Finnish are involved elsewhere and do not have the time or the resources to get involved on this massive buildup of tanks, as well as the kamikazes threatening and spreading as they do. The desert has been consolidated and full ownership split between the Jordanians, Israelis, and Russians. And then finally, on the northwestern front here, we saw some brand new Panthers, which the Germans have 140 of to build due to their recent unlock, and are once again threatening another front, but just due to time constraints, it is very difficult to fight on all fronts. So that's it for this recap. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and please check out my other videos if you are interested in this kind of content.